Hi, I'm Quinn. Today I'm going to be talking about trials, but more specifically, I want to talk about the experiences that lead us to overcoming the harder experiences that we have in life. So for me, this was actually learning how to drive a stick shift car. So when I was 16, I got my license, and I was driving the family car, which was a Chevy Suburban, a larger car, and my mom had this fear that I was going to crash this car in my high school parking lot. And at the same time, my neighbor was selling his car, which was this sweet 2002 Audi A4. And my dad presented this option to me, which I jumped at the opportunity. The only hangup being that I didn't actually drive stick shift. So the first night that we have this car, we take it out to the church parking lot, as one does, and we're practicing, and I'm doing pretty okay, but we took it out to the residential streets, and that's where I started to stall over and over again. And I started to lose my confidence, and anxiety started to creep in, and embarrassment. And so coming away from that night, I started to avoid this car, and we're talking like months go by. And my parents, bless their hearts, they're being very understanding and patient, but it kind of comes to a head, and my dad is like, what is going on? And he actually signs me up for this driver's course. And he tells me that I will do this driver's course, and if at the end I still hate driving stick, then he'll sell the car. And so I kind of thought of this as my easy out. But we show up for this driver's course, and my dad's not actually even going to be in the car. I'm coupled up with this driving instructor who is passionate about cars, but also painfully shy. And we start doing these obstacle courses, and I'm doing pretty okay. And I start to look around, and I notice that I'm actually the only stick shift driving person there. Everybody else is in an automatic. And I realize that this entire program isn't centered around driving stick shift cars. It's just a normal driver's program. And so I'm doing these obstacle courses, and I'm gaining a lot of that confidence back. And so at the end of the day, my dad comes back and he asks me how it went. And I tell him about how I felt a lot better, and that anxiety seemed to melt away. And his encouragement was definitely to keep that up, and the next day to just keep it going. And that's certainly what I've done. I've never looked back. There have been times where I've stalled out in the past, but I've moved forward, and I like to look at this experience because I've experienced some hard things in my life. Like I had thyroid cancer. I went on a mission. I've had hard experiences. But what I think is really interesting is to look at those experiences that led up to that point that I had that allowed me to overcome those harder challenges that came later. And I think, zeroing in on this experience, one might think it was trivial. But for me, I know that that was a point in which I gained a lot of confidence, and that it helped me to overcome the bigger things. And I think that anybody who were to self-examine their own lives and their own experiences would find this for themselves as well.